I think we should go slightly in the near of the cave, I would say, because we would go into the cave later on, but so it's dark. I don't see the cave. I don't see you. So there,
Okay,
there you
here
are.
I am.
So let's make a torch. The torch light is a bit, yeah, it's not much. I think I have to make it the area of the light
Mm.
be bigger.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Um,
Uh, okay.
yeah. Again, it's down to individual preference, I suppose.
So let's. So okay. So if we build oh okay,
Oh,
careful,
who's
the
that?
goblins have torches
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh, nearly.
Okay. The
Ah.
problem is PvP is on every time. So
Okay, so did I hit you? Sorry.
no, you don't hit me. I
Right.
think the goblin has catched the damage. So I think we should go.
Yep, follow you.
Here it looks. Yeah, here is okay because the water is not too far away and
Mm-hmm.
it's plain here. So you can build even if it's not plain, but um,
Yeah.
yeah, let's build here. I will start to there you
Okay. There we
search.
go.
I don't know if we
Oh wow, you crafted quite a lot. I did one platform and you've done loads.
I collected a lot of but that's all I have.
Right. Let's.
So in the game it is I think 15 minutes. Yeah, it's 15 minutes night
Mm-hmm.
and 45 minutes day.
Yeah.
Because
And we are back. Hello there, welcome back. And well, let's just start off by let's talk about Frozen Flames.
Yeah, amazing game.
What
isn't it?
a game!
And it looks quite polished. It has been alpha footage. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So just to clarify that this game isn't even on beta yet. Beta is September the 15th, I believe it's touted for.
Exactly.
So that is, well, I mean, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
And you said something like, forgive me if I got it slightly wrong, but you said in your experience of dealing with games that are coming out.
Exactly. This is one of the most polished games in recent years. Not even early access games has been somewhere near that. So this looks really amazing. It's highly polished already. I've played it. This is one of the first games in that state that I spent more than 4 or 5 hours playing it. So it's really you can get addicted to it.
It's a good game. I mean, the 2 hours that was obviously that was my voice. That was me playing. But those 2 hours just flew by. It was just going around the different biomes in the map and just experiencing how the game plays slightly differently. And then seeing those elementals. Did you see the rock and the ice
snowballs?
Yeah, towards you. I mean, and I'm really excited about this game. And, you know, obviously from a GPORTAL perspective, I think it's going to be a great game. But as a player, for me, this is a game that I definitely know I will play myself.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm really looking forward to it. As said before, beta is about to start on the 15th of September, and they plan to have it released somewhere in November, December, Steam Early Access. So we're really looking forward to it. It has great elements in the game, and and of course private servers. So.
Absolutely, yes, indeed, yes, absolutely. And so, guys, if you have any questions whatsoever about Frozen Flame, then by all means, please drop them in chat. If you've got any questions about private game servers in general, throw them our way, and we'll see what we can do about answering those questions. I just wanted to very quickly geek out about Frozen Flame and just say how excited I am for that game, because I generally am.
Yeah, me too.
So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to fill the space for a second. So whilst I
important for the success of a multiplayer online game. So
brilliant, that's fantastic. Could you just say that again for me, because I've just hit record.
Okay, we're talking about private servers and why they are so important for the success of online multiplayer games, and
so that is the essence of our next talk. So for the next sort of 20 minutes, we're going to talk about private game servers and why, I'm just literally just repeating what you just said, why they pretty much should be on every development roadmap for any multiplayer game.
Yeah, definitely should be.
And I suppose there is a caveat to that. And I suppose before we go any further, yes, we understand that there are certain types of games that don't need private game servers for a multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
You know, your turn-based strategies. I think you said simulation earlier.
Yeah, simulation. So such as Satisfactory, for example, they have a peer-to-peer approach. It could make sense. To have maybe also private servers for this game. Maybe they have it on the roadmap. We will see. However, there are pros and cons between peer-to-peer and private servers.
So a little, I suppose, sneak peek of what might come up later on this week, or will come up later this week, is we are going to be talking about private game servers and how they have changed the industry. But we're not going to talk about that today. What we're actually going to talk about is the specific reasons why a game studio should be using private game servers in their next game. And we're going to break it down into 3 segments. So we're going to talk about sort of gamer experience, then communities, and then finally the third aspect we're going to talk about is game life durability.
Yeah, very important.
Indeed, absolutely. So we'll start off with game experience. So,
Yeah.
I suppose the go-to method at this moment in time for many studios. Now there are plenty of studios that still use private game servers and dedicated game servers, but there are still a lot that use peer-to-peer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for anyone who's watching, I don't know if you, Roberto, if you want to just briefly just explain what peer-to-peer is for anybody who doesn't know what that is.
So basically, you start your game, you click on host a multiplayer game. It will start up the game. It will start up basically like a dedicated server in the background. So you are the host for your friends wanted to join with you and play on the same map, and you can have settings there too, and choose between different values, of course, but in the end you're the host. So basically your PC, your broadband connection at home will serve other players around the globe or nearby to host that game.
So essentially, and that's not just PC, that's any device with a multiplayer experience. So your Xbox, your PlayStations, your Switches, part of the hardware on that device has to be segregated from the game to be able to run the multiplayer experience. So from a hardware side of things, it's already, you can assume that the games aren't going to be using 100% of the operating system.
No,
because it can't.
Shared resources they will need, but let's start with the pros. So of course it's convenient. You start the game, you press the button, host your game, and you immediately join the server, and maybe friends can join through friends list or whatever the technique behind is to follow your mate and play together with him. So and it's cost efficiency. So
well, the cost efficiency is up front. Because yes, it doesn't cost anything up front, but you lose out later on down the line.
That's true. But we will come to that later on. And the cons, of course, is you have the broadband connection. So basically, this just works for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players at the same time, and then it will begin to struggle to have a synchronization between each players with their broadband connection with the people, the person hosting the game, basically. And so we all had the experience with many different games in the past using peer-to-peer, where you got disconnected, or the host for some reason disconnected, PC shut down, whatever, and everyone loses the connection, and you have to start over again. So this could be a hassle, of course, and has some downside on the game experience as well.
I suppose from the a recent experience of mine that I saw, as you know, I'm a little bit of a Formula One fan, and I was missing out on it this year because of everything that's been going on in the world. And I was so relieved to see that they were actually going to be hosting virtual Grand Prix. Real life drivers.
At least they tried.
Playing the official game. Don't ruin the story. There was the likes of Charles Leclerc, Alex Albon, Lando Norris. These are all Formula One drivers who are currently, who are getting paid millions of pounds, but they're playing the official game it was a Sunday evening to a host of, to an audience of millions, essentially, around the world. And unfortunately, because the F1 game uses peer-to-peer, there were issues. One of which was Lando Norris, who was actually streaming the game himself, disconnected from the game, or got booted out.
Not only once, but many
several times. Not only on 1 week either. It was on a number of weeks. He lost. He couldn't qualify for one of the races. Then there was a hashtag going around Twitter at the time called LandoBot, because his car was AI for about half the race. And then the second or third time it happened to him, bless him, he actually live on stream rage quit uninstalled the game.
Live on TV. So it was. So that's what I'm talking about. So peer-to-peer has its upsides, but too many downsides.
I mean, the perfect storm for peer-to-peer. Storm's probably a bad word for easy, but it's basically where you get the absolute, totally unique circumstances that hardly ever happen. So for peer-to-peer to work, it needs to be a small lobby. Everybody who's playing needs to be in the same region.
Should be.
And they all need to have amazing internet with being stable as well. So that means basically no one else on that person's internet streaming Netflix or something like that. And as we know, that never happens. I mean, we're not just talking from the business point of view. As players ourselves, we've experienced so many times issues with P2P games.
Exactly.
Games.
So
So
we've been all struggling already with peer-to-peer and such. So that's why we talk about private game servers, and dedicated server itself. So.
Exactly. So we'll jump onto that in just a second. But just to sort of, I suppose, just to explain a little bit further, if one person is having an issue with their internet connection, with peer-to-peer, it isn't just that one person who experiences problems.
The weakest chain in this multiplayer experience will dictate the performance for everyone. So this is common nature in peer-to-peer.
Heaven forbid they're the host. that just ruins the game for everybody. But there's examples I've seen like on first-person shooter games where the opposing player you're trying to shoot is there. Then there. Then there.
Hitbox and player characters are this not even on the same hitbox. They go different, and it's just a hassle.
Absolutely.
Like we said before,
So they're all. If you imagine like this big spider web of players connected to other players, and you get one person that has an issue, everybody else is connected in some way.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas a dedicated game server, or more specifically a private game server is what we're talking about, you have that piece of hardware that is looking after the game, and everyone else has their own individual connection.
All the package, all the information to everyone. It's like you said, it's normally hosted inside a data center with amazing bandwidth and connections. So low latency network usually, so this shouldn't happen in a dedicated server environment.
So I mean, there's just straight up there, what we're just talking about is gamer experience. There are so many games I have seen over the years that have struggled because people are having bad online experiences.
Of course, you can turn your entire game apart with a bad online experience. You can have amazing gameplay, everything is perfect, and then people want to play together and they just can't. So what should they do?
Exactly.
So Lando Norris experience.
Rage quit. Don't be another Lando Norris.
Rage quit the game and deinstalled mainly the entire game. So, and fantastic. We don't want to let that happen.
No, we don't. We do not want that to happen. So I suppose the next sort of thing I wanted to talk about as a benefit was the community side of things. And we talked to a number of different studios, and pretty much everybody who works at GPORTAL is a gamer. We're all massive gamers, so we're all always up to speed with what's going on in the industry. And we know that so many studios spend huge amounts of time these days trying to build these communities to help keep their game ticking along after launch. And with private game servers, you get instantly one type of community, and then you get another type of community, which we'll mention in a moment. But a private game server, you automatically get a clan, a group, or a club renting their own private game server.
Yeah, exactly. So people who wants to play together, some of them just want to administrate everything for their community. So everything is possible with private servers. You can have one server, many servers. You can interconnect them with each other. So there are literally no borders. and you can configure them. You have them on powerful bare metal systems inside a local nearby data center with low latency. There are other burdens that brings a dedicated server with it, of course, like DDoS protection. You won't face those issues in a peer-to-peer environment, but as we said this morning, we already solved it. So with GPORTAL suite, I don't know how to call it, but we have solved this problem as well, and we have connected literally every single eyeball provider in different countries to our low latency network, so latency shouldn't be a problem at all. It benefits the entire game. So this is basically, and with the amazing control panel we have in place, you can do everything. It will take care of everything. If you if there is an update, it will auto update your game. You won't even notice. So
I love the fact that you have so much control over the user experience, over the player experience. So if you're playing like a survival game, hardcore survival game, you can increase like your day-night cycles or your loot or something like that.
Every multiplayer you can imagine, you can scale. Nearly infinite.
Possibilities are endless.
But ending up with millions of dinosaurs on an arc map could have a negative impact on the performance in the end. But there are no boundaries at all. So you can configure whatever you want. And one big impact or downside also for peer-to-peer is the host has to be online all the time. So playing with your friends means the host has to be there or at least have his PC running all the time. He needs an ISP at home that doesn't disconnect him, not change IP addresses. Otherwise, it will just disconnect and he has to restart the game.
Well, there's also reports of, I don't know how true this is, but there's also reports, certainly in the UK where I live, if you're using a lot of your broadband, that your provider will start turning that down.
Start throttling it. That's a possibility that could happen. And while you watch when you start watching Disney Plus or Netflix, while your host is up and running, I don't believe that the other party playing on your server is enjoying it too much when you steal him the entire bandwidth.
No, I'm just touching on what you just mentioned there about someone have to be online to play with. I'm currently in Germany at the moment, helping to do this, and I live in the UK. I've promised my son, because he's a huge Minecraft fan, massive Minecraft fan. Exactly. I've promised him that we'll play together at some point over probably next weekend. And I can't play unless he's playing, because his world, everything that he's designed, his castles, his buildings, all this sort of stuff, is all on his Xbox. So until he fires up his Xbox, I can't join that game. So I was like, it wouldn't be great if I went and built something as a surprise for him. I can't do it.
No, you can't. You have to wait for him to come online. So then this isn't enough to just come online. He has to start the game and host again this game you started with him. So with dedicated server, your server would run 24/7. You don't have to take care of. We will patch it automatically. So another issue, if the host itself hasn't the latest patch and you're running on a different version, you can't join. So we will make sure about all this, and that's all have a negative impact on game experience.
And these communities, these are fans, and they're like, it's almost like, have you ever seen like a little bowl of sugar or a watery sugar you put down in the summertime? You get all these wasps. You imagine like that's like your community, and you get all these different fans of the game. They sort of come to it, and they start to they build more and more of a fan base behind that game. And then they start streaming about it, making YouTube videos about it sometimes, and posting about it on social media.
And people love to play on your server because of the settings you put in, because of the administration and all the other efforts you put into your server. So you enjoy the game every time a completely different way with another server you join, because everyone has its settings and own values. So yeah, it's like playing a new game.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely, it is. And just on that as well, I mean, we'll move quickly on to. So actually, it was quite a nice little smooth transition, which I'm ruining by talking about the transition. But modding communities. That's the other type of community. Well, I mean, it's like, where do you even start to talk about them? They're just these. You take the fans of a game, and then you take them to another level.
Yeah, exactly. You let the entire community, everyone who loves the game, create their own game experience around it. So usually you have the vanilla game experience, and be honest, it gets boring after a while. So with modding, with building own maps, with own plugins, including different creatures you create, you can have complete own game, like a complete conversion of the game you love to play. It's still in the same universe, so it still takes place in the settings you love. But on the other hand, you have your own mods, and you can combine it. And let's pick Cone Exiles or Ark, for instance. People are running around with nearly 60, 70, 80 different mods at the same time on the same server. And there are more than 4,000 different mods out there, so the combination is infinite. So, and with every new setting or modification, this completely new game, and
brings a whole new experience.
Yeah, exactly. And this increased player retention by far.
Huge.
So it just goes skyrocket.
I mean, just imagine, right? You are an average size studio. You've got a few hundred people, right, working on your project for your game. You spent the last, it takes 4 or 5 years to develop a game these days, isn't it? So you spent the last 5 years developing that game, but your resources aren't infinite. At some point you have to go, right, okay, game needs to be launched now, and either we work on downloads, DLCs, expansion packs, or go on to the next project.
Yeah, you have to do trades off to your roadmap, to your features, maybe including some DLCs, new NPCs, new characters, whatever.
With that modding community, now you have hundreds, thousands.
You have an army.
An army of people modding that game and tailoring it. And some of these mods, they deviate in quality, but some of them are so good that they actually get taken on by the game studio and made into DLC.
Exactly.
Or official mods.
Yeah. For instance, if you pick Ark and there are different maps, there have been already several maps included to the official game.
That's a great example. Another example is Minecraft. Look at Minecraft, what it looks like now. A lot of it's down to modifications. If you look at all the mods that lead prior to the new updates,
there are hundreds of new games. So with Minecraft, so this is huge. And if you look back in history, pick DayZ for example. It's been
we're going to be talking about that in a few days' time.
sorry, but let me finish it. DayZ, for instance, has been a mod for Arma, and now it became a standalone. Counter-Strike as well. It's been a mod for Half-Life.
I'm going to have to take your DayZ and go one better. So DayZ, there was a mod. DayZ was a mod of Arma 2. Then there was a mod of DayZ called DayZ Battle Royale.
That's true.
Which then got made into a standalone game called PUBG.
This is how things can evolve during time. And if you see, PUBG has gone huge. It's one of the biggest Battle Royale games of all times. And then you see games like Fortnite adopting certain characteristics of the game and being even more successful. So this is what modding means for the entire gaming industry. So that's why it's so important.
Absolutely.
And everything can just take place with private servers.
Yes, indeed. So that sort of brings us on to the last aspect of why private game servers should be part of every multiplayer experience, is game life durability. So if I said to you, right, just imagine a normal game, nothing special about it, just your typical game. It's P2P, orchestration.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is the peak player count going to be in that lifespan of that game?
Yeah. After release and probably the first and second weekend, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, unless they do something, if they change the game or release new content or that sort of thing.
Exactly.
The older the game gets, the less amount of players.
You will have some peaks, of course, with new DLCs and major
game goes
updates.
on sale or something like that.
Yeah, for instance, but that's it. It will just go down.
Absolutely. So when you introduce private game servers and you get that community straight away, the first community that I was talking about, your clans, your groups, and your clubs, the ones who love that game, who keep playing that game, who are making content about that game.
Exactly.
It keeps your player count up.
Yeah, it's of course player retention will be high.
Yes.
And they may go to different games and check them out and play them for a couple of days or weeks, but they will always return.
Yeah.
They will always return because of the experience you have, because of the multiple settings and mods you can have with it, and you will always return.
Absolutely.
So Conan Exiles, Ark, Minecraft, you will see they will last for years.
Oh, Minecraft's been around for 10 years.
Yeah. So if you compare to other games, for instance, Battlefield, you see they have to bring every year or every 2 years a new game to keep their player base.
That's true. That's very, very true. So when I obviously talking about private game servers, obviously dedicated game servers, that's where you get that better game experience, that better online experience. So that typical lifespan of that P2P game, you also, within those people you're losing those people who have bad online experiences. Then you can go another step further. Then you add the other community that we were talking about, the modding community, and you see something very strange, very unique happen to that life durability.
Yeah.
No longer does it decrease; it starts to increase, doesn't it?
That's true. Yeah, and you never know what happens out of one mod that it could leverage and your entire game. So maybe the core game, has a few players, and then there comes up a modification that makes it skyrocket. Then people starts playing just because of this modification.
Yes.
So
just as for a couple of, I can't remember the exact numbers, so I won't quote them exactly. But upon launch, no, the numbers have gone from my head completely. So I'll tell you this: in 2017, when Ark Survival Evolved launched,
it was 2015.
That was an early access. I'm talking about full official release.
Yeah, okay.
It had an average / mixed review on it. A good amount of players, not world breaking, not astonishing or anything like that.
No, it was okay.
We are now 3 years later from the official release, and player count has doubled. I'm not talking about just peak, but actual average, day to day, week to week, month to month. It's doubled. And that is down to the many mods that are available for that game.
People are still playing and enjoying this game.
Yes.
They bring out one DLC per year.
It's got freaking dinosaurs, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But with all the new maps, with all the DLCs they have in place, with all the introductions of new mods and so on and so forth, they have the player retention, and they increased their player base by far, and they can leverage it also for the next title that will come out probably next or the year after. So that's what I'm saying. And all comes down to private servers and the ability to have your own game experience in the end. Yes,
absolutely. So just to recap what we've just been talking about, basically the subject of this was all multiplayer game experiences should be private game servers. With that, you get the enhanced gaming experience. You get the communities that drive your concurrent players. And also then you get, because of those two elements, you get a longer game life or better game life durability.
Yeah, that's true.
One day that wall is gonna fall. Gonna build that city on a hill. Gonna build that city on a hill. Someday those tears are gonna spill. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there before too long. Gonna build that wall up to the sky. Gonna build that wall up to the sky. Someday your bird is gonna fly. Gonna build that wall until it's done. Gonna build that wall until it's done. But now you've got nowhere to run. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there before too long.
I set my sail, fly, the wind it will take me back to my home, sweet home. Lie on my back, clouds are making way for me. I'm coming home, sweet home. I see your star, you left it burning for me. Mother, I'm here. Eyes open wide, feel your heart and it's glowing. I'm welcome home, sweet home. I take your hand, now you'll never be lonely. Not when I'm home, sweet home. I see your star, you left it burning for me. Mother, I'm here.
YouTube channel, A Rally the Geek. I also have a Discord with about 1,000 gamers and a couple hundred patrons. As you can probably tell, we like Ark a lot. Most of us have thousands of hours into this game. GPORTAL has been our go-to destination for quite some time. It's the reason I, kind of sought out a partnership with them. The ability to change slot counts per server on the fly has just changed the way that we deal with our server setups. I currently have 9 Ark servers that are running on GPORTAL for the geeks, and we adjust slot counts up and down all the time when we're working with new events that we're doing across the servers. So that's like a game changer for me. There's nothing out there that beats that. And GPORTAL has phenomenal customer service and tech support in the background. So thank you, GPORTAL. I look forward to many years of being a partner with you guys.
Marty hier. Ich streame größtenteils auf Twitch und ich spiele eher so Singleplayer-Spiele, so das übliche, so Shooter, kompetitive Sachen, die die meisten Streamer spielen. Das ist nicht so meins. Ich mag eher entspannte Streams. Ich mache lieber chillige Streams, wo die Leute ein bisschen runterkommen können nach dem Feierabend und wo ich selber ein bisschen runterkommen kann. Und vor allem spiele ich regelmäßig Minecraft jeden Sonntag. Da habe ich eine Welt, da habe ich ein Projekt, an der ich jeden Sonntag weiterbaue, seit inzwischen über 2 Jahren, die inzwischen schon ziemlich umfangreich ist. Und jeden Sonntag um Punkt 11 treffen wir uns zum Minecraft-Spielen und machen uns einen super entspannten Sonntag. Meine Community ist der Bienenstock, deswegen hier alles mit Bienen. Nimmt langsam ein bisschen Überhand. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, wie das angefangen hat, aber ja, wir sind der Bienenstock. Und wir spielen jeden Sonntag Minecraft und GPORTAL stellt mir netterweise den Server zur Verfügung. Das ist, wie ich auf GPORTAL gekommen bin und ich bin damit sehr, sehr zufrieden. Ist sehr, sehr nice, der Service. Ja.
Hi, my name is Steven and I run a popular gaming channel on YouTube called Syntac. The channel mainly focuses around survival games, mostly Ark Survival Evolved, although I'll occasionally have some other games sprinkled in too. I've been a business partner with GPORTAL for almost 3 years now. In this time, I've brought in over 6 figures worth of revenue to GPORTAL, along with thousands of new customers. My affiliation with GPORTAL is also well known in the community. My fans all know that GPORTAL has the best service out there, at an incredibly affordable price. I've been extremely happy in my relationship with GPORTAL over these years. I've definitely felt that they see the value in a partnership with somebody like me. They've even gone so far as to reward me for the success of the business that I'm bringing in. I hope to continue my professional relationship with GPORTAL for many more years.
And I'm back. Good evening and welcome back to me and to you. Guys, it's been a few hours since I've actually been live talking in front of camera. I do have to apologise for a couple of issues. If you have stayed online for the entirety, you would have noticed the odd thing going slightly wrong. One being I have incredibly... Actually, they don't look that fat, but I do have fat fingers, especially when it comes to keyboards, and I pressed the wrong button and I've restarted some gameplay footage, unfortunately. And then we also did have a horrific storm, middle of the afternoon, that completely interrupted the stream. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Anyway, so... if you have anything to say, if you've got any comments whatsoever about private game servers or about Ray Polly, the game that we showed off this afternoon, then please drop them in the chat. And hello to Tudan TV, thank you for tuning in. You're about to witness a little bit of storytelling. So, I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes discussing about private game servers and how they have moulded the game industry and how the game industry looks like it does today predominantly because of private game servers. So, I'm going to cast your mind back to a game called Half-Life. Fantastic, a great first-person story-led game. Really, really good, and not many people know that Counter-Strike was actually a mod of that game. As we know, Counter-Strike became an incredible force where it was potentially one of the biggest, well, it was the biggest sort of first-person shooter type game that was used in esports. And we are talking over 10 years ago now. But that game came from a mod, came from a private game server. And without a private game server, you wouldn't have got Counter-Strike. But that's just a little bookmark in the history of private game servers and mods and where it all fits together. Because the next game I'm going to talk to you about is, well, it's the biggest game in the world. It's of course Minecraft, and Minecraft arguably wouldn't be anywhere near as popular as it is now if it wasn't for private game servers. And you're probably going, well, what do you mean, Damien? What are you talking about? You know, Minecraft is a huge game played by millions of people around the world, purchased by tens of millions of people. And I'll break it down. So Minecraft has sort of like 4 key pillars to the game. The first one being it's a survival game. Okay. The second being discoverability. Third, creativity. Fourth, freedom. Now, if you take away the survival aspect, a private game server enhances discoverability, creativity, and freedom in almost infinite ways. There are so many modifications of that game that are out now that it's just incredible. It just... Where you would load up a new game of Minecraft, and every time you load up, if you ask Minecraft to create a new world, they're always different, and that's your discoverability, you know, that of the game. Just imagine if you hop onto a private game server where someone's actually created a whole world. You know, I've listed a couple here. If you wanted to go and, I don't know, battle for the Iron Throne in Westeros, you can. Go and visit the Chamber of Secrets in Hogwarts. You can. Fight zombies in The Walking Dead. Yep, you can do that too. Or battle or fight for the ring that rules them all in Middle Earth. Guess what? All available with private game servers. There are worlds out there that people have created. There are game modes out there that people have created, all on private game servers. I remember visiting a place in Nottingham, which is in the UK, a few years ago, and I played a battle royale in Minecraft on a private game server, which is absolutely incredible. So you have that, obviously, that discoverability with all these different private game servers. You have that freedom as well, because there are so many different mods and skins and stuff like that now that are downloadable for that game, that you can actually manipulate your own experience. So for instance, just to give an example of a different type of experience, you get ray tracing now in Minecraft. Now, ray tracing aside, a lot of stuff that is brought into Minecraft these days is either influenced or has come straight from a modification of that game. So different textures, or working in the Ender dimension, or all those sort of things, all originated really from private game servers. I was very recently on a looking for some of the best private game servers out there, and I found one that I was compelled actually to go and show it to my family, because my son, my daughter, my wife, my in-laws, my sister-in-law, my niece, they were all absolutely in awe of a private game server that I had found running a version of Minecraft that had been a world that had been built during the last 5 years and is still being built today. What I'll do after this, I'll try and drop a link into chat, so if you want to check it out, by all means go ahead. Basically, there are a number of people working in a team that have spent the last 5 years building Disney World. And that's Florida Disney World. And it's not just Magical Kingdom or anything like that. This is all of the park. And not like a scaled down version as well. This is 1:1 scale of the entire park. So we're talking Animal Kingdom, we're talking Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Magic Kingdom, all to a 1:1 scale. And what's even more incredible about this server is that all the rides, you can actually go on them, and they've even got like a plug-in for the music and the audio that you'd experience as you go on that ride. Again, not possible without a private game server. So all these different things that, if you take away all these different mods, all these different worlds, and all these different scenarios that could be created with private game servers, you're left with a very core and raw version of Minecraft. And I would argue till the cows come home that it wouldn't be anywhere near as popular if it wasn't for private game servers. And now, changing the subject slightly, I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson. So hopefully you're sitting comfortably as I talk to you now about a little bit of history about private game servers and how they have changed the way in which the video game industry looks right now. So I'm going to take you back to, I believe, about 2009, 2010. I might be a year or so out, so don't blame me if I am wrong, because I've just said I might be. And there was a game called Arma 2 that came out. Now, this is actually a game that I played myself. I was really quite into it. And I even started watching a few different streams about it in the very early days of influencers. And I actually became aware, after I started watching one of my favourite influencers, I actually became aware of several mods to this particular game, where there were different types of vehicles and safe zones and camps. And if you don't know what it is, Arma 2 is essentially, it's an open world military simulation that you could either run in third perspective or first perspective. And all these different types of mods that were coming through on private game servers were running variations of this game, modding the game to make it play better or in different ways. And you had all these different types of unique and strange ways in which the game potentially could be played. But this one particular influencer I was watching, one day I noticed there were zombies in the game. And I was like, hang on a minute, I've played this game myself. Where did they come from? And it was a mod of this game that was called DayZ, or DayZ Epoch in actual fact. And essentially it was Arma 2, but they had put zombies in there. And so not only did you have to fight against other players who could literally kill you and take your stuff, but you also had these zombies who were just as fast as you at running, and you had to keep yourself, you had to feed yourself, you had to drink and all that sort of thing, and it was a very, very good experience. And in actual fact, it was something that I jumped on straight away, and I was playing myself a lot. That game was so popular as a mod, it actually became a standalone game, which is actually a game you can still play today. You can play it on PC, you can play it on Xbox. It's created by a gentleman called Dean Hall, and at the time, in actual fact, there was, I don't know if you guys remember, if you paid that much attention to the industry back then, but there was... Yes, you're quite right. Yeah, I'm sorry, Chudan. I was very late to reading that comment. You were quite right. It became DayZ. But it influenced so many games back then as well. There were just zombie survival games popping up left, right, and centre. In actual fact, it was like, oh, there's another survival game coming out, and it's got zombies in it. Oh, how original. But, you know, there were other games. H1Z1 is another good example. So that is an example of how private game servers have actually helped make another game, we already talked about Counter-Strike, but another game as well become its own standalone as well. But the story doesn't stop there, because DayZ was a mod of Arma 2, and then there was another mod that started floating around in 2012, I believe, and this mod was heavily influenced by a Japanese film called Battle Royale, and it was called DayZ Battle Royale. And essentially what happened was you started and you were in a plane, and you jumped out of the plane, and you landed on a very small island, and you had to kill the other players, and the last one standing was the winner. So yeah, this game was created by another player called Brendan Green, who, if you haven't realised already, his gamer name is Player Unknown, and that mod of a mod became so successful that it was the birth of Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, PUBG. And you know, if you just look at the biggest games that are in the market right now, they are heavily influenced by PUBG. Fortnite is pretty much a copy of PUBG with a building element to it, but yeah, it's heavily influenced by PUBG. And the latest Modern Warfare game, Modern Warfare Warzone, is also a sort of a survival battle royale type game. So these are two of the biggest games in the market right now that wouldn't have happened if there wasn't private game servers. And this is still happening right now. So you think, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe the industry's moved on. No, private game servers are still being used by modders all the time, and there are new and unique versions of games that are being created daily. Some of which the studios have taken on board and are actually making them official mods. But yeah, if you have a game that has a private or has dedicated and private game servers, have a look to see if there's any mods, because if there are mods, then you'll probably have a very new and unique experience of playing a game that you're already familiar playing with. So there we go. So there's some examples. We have got Counter-Strike, we have Minecraft, and then we have Fortnite and Warzone and PUBG, all of which have been heavily influenced by private game servers. So that's the end of my little talk. All I wanted to do is very quickly was just to do a quick shout out to some of our partnered influencers. So I'm going to play a couple of videos for them now. If you have any questions or just want to drop a comment in the chat, by all means do so, and I'll speak to you in just a moment.
Marty hier. Ich streame größtenteils auf Twitch und ich spiele eher so Singleplayer-Spiele, so das übliche, so Shooter, kompetitive Sachen, die die meisten Streamer spielen. Das ist nicht so meins. Ich mag eher entspannte Streams. Ich mache lieber chillige Streams, wo die Leute ein bisschen runterkommen können nach dem Feierabend und wo ich selber ein bisschen runterkommen kann. Und vor allem spiele ich regelmäßig Minecraft jeden Sonntag. Da habe ich eine Welt, da habe ich ein Projekt, an der ich jeden Sonntag weiterbaue, seit inzwischen über 2 Jahren, die inzwischen schon ziemlich umfangreich ist. Und jeden Sonntag um Punkt 11 treffen wir uns zum Minecraft-Spielen und machen uns einen super entspannten Sonntag. Meine Community ist der Bienenstock, deswegen hier alles mit Bienen. Nimmt langsam ein bisschen Überhand. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, wie das angefangen hat, aber ja, wir sind der Bienenstock. Und wir spielen jeden Sonntag Minecraft und GPORTAL stellt mir netterweise den Server zur Verfügung. Das ist, wie ich auf GPORTAL gekommen bin und ich bin damit sehr, sehr zufrieden. Ist sehr, sehr nice, der Service. Ja.
Hi, my name is Steven, and I run a popular gaming channel on YouTube called Syntac. The channel mainly focuses around survival games, mostly Ark Survival Evolved, although I'll occasionally have some other games sprinkled in too. I've been a business partner with GPORTAL for almost 3 years now. In this time, I've brought in over 6 figures worth of revenue to GPORTAL, along with thousands of new customers. My affiliation with GPORTAL is also well known in the community. My fans all know that GPORTAL has the best service out there, at an incredibly affordable price. I've been extremely happy in my relationship with GPORTAL over these years. I've definitely felt that they see the value in a partnership with somebody like me. They've even gone so far as to reward me for the success of the business that I'm bringing in. I hope to continue my professional relationship with GPORTAL for many more years.
My name is Raleigh, and I run the YouTube channel Raleigh the Geek. I also have a Discord with about 1,000 gamers and a couple hundred patrons. As you can probably tell, we like Ark a lot. Most of us have thousands of hours into this game. GPORTAL has been our go-to destination for quite some time. It's the reason I, kind of sought out a partnership with them. The ability to change slot counts per server on the fly has just changed the way that we deal with our server setups. I currently have 9 Ark servers that are running on GPORTAL for the geeks, and we adjust slot counts up and down all the time when we're working with new events that we're doing across the servers. So that's like a game changer for me. There's nothing out there that beats that. And GPORTAL has phenomenal customer service and tech support in the background. So thank you, GPORTAL. I look forward to many years of being a partner with you guys.
And we're back to me again, yay! Right, so we are coming to the close of today's stream. Just to sort of give a context to these guys, they're just some of our partnered influencers. We have approximately 500 partnered influencers all over the world. They stream in 30 different countries, in 12 languages, to a combined audience of 10 million. And we are always getting new influencers all the time, playing different genres of different games. And if you are a studio and you're interested in working with GPORTAL, this is just one of the many resources that we offer to help promote your game and to drive sales. So just to round up today, we have had just the last few minutes, a little quick chat about how private game servers have molded the industry. Earlier today, you would have also seen Ray Polly and a fantastic new game that is still in development. Beta will be available for it soon. That game is developed by Hinkfoot Studios. It's one guy on his own who develops the game in the evenings, and it's a crazy game. If you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube right now, if you just scroll back up to through the comments, you'll be able to see a link to the game. Hinkfoot Studios, as I said, it's called. It's a fantastic game. I thoroughly recommend that you go and play it and support Hinkfoot Studios. And also, we had a little talk. This was actually recorded from yesterday, about why all multiplayer experiences should have private game servers involved. If you are interested in having a chat with me and you are currently watching on Devcom, hit the Let's Talk button in the bottom right hand corner and we can organise a meeting. Or if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, just pop something in the comments below. Or you can actually see my email. Actually, I'm just right somewhere about right there. There's my email. So you can send me an email and we can have a chat. So tomorrow we have another exclusive game that we're going to be showcasing. And on Thursday we'll also have a speaker slot where pretty much everything that I've talked about or we're streaming about over this week and next week is all going to be condensed into a 22-minute talk. So that will be aired on Thursday. If you miss it on Thursday, don't worry, that it will be repeated probably on Friday and a couple of days the following week as well. So thank you guys for watching. I've been Damien Reed from GPORTAL, and I wonder which button it is to end the stream. I think it's this one. Bye-bye for now. I don't want to end the stream. I want to go to the end card. There we go.